Hi everybody, the 2025 Union Budget is here.
आज भारत की विकास यात्रा का एक महत्वपूर्ण पड़ाव है।
I present the budget for 25-26. I am now happy to announce that there will be no income tax payable up to income of 12 lakh rupees.
So if you have a salary, you may be paying less tax. But the important question is, what happens if you don't have a salary?
Every year we all wait to see where our hard-earned tax money is being invested. Will we get tax relief? Which industries will boom? And most importantly, we often wonder, how will this budget impact the future of India's economy?
ये जो बजट की विशेषता ये है कि
Was this a budget to the government of India or was this a budget to the government of Bihar?
ड्रीम बजट कहा जा सकता है।
हमारी इकोनॉमी को एक्सेलरेट करने वाला ये बजट है।
केवल घोषणा इन लोगों ने करने का काम किया।
ये हर भारतीय के सपनों को पूरा करने वाला बजट।
ये सरकार झूठी है।
विकसित भारत की सोच को मजबूती देने वाला ये बजट है।
And this year, like the last 7 years, Nirmala Maam has presented the budget for 2025. And as always, it comes with big promises, bold claims, and policies that could reshape the Indian economy altogether. This is a roadmap that decides where businesses thrive, where investors should bet their money, and where entrepreneurs will find their next big opportunity. So the question is, what's in it for you? What are the major changes in the tax code? Which industries is the government betting big on? And most importantly, what are the biggest criticisms of this year's budget? This video is brought to you by our wonderful partners Odoo. People, while the Union Budget shapes the country's finances, managing your own business finance is just as crucial. It may seem simple, but accounting can be a nightmare. And this is something that only business owners will understand. From manual data entry to missed tax deadlines, small errors can lead to cash flow issues, penalties, and hours wasted fixing mistakes. And if you're a business owner, you know how important it is to keep your finances in order. And here's where Odoo Accounting can help you out. With Odoo Accounting, you get a complete accounting system that makes managing finances super easy, super efficient, and error-free. Odoo's bank synchronization ensures that all your transactions are imported automatically, keeping your financial data accurate and up to date in real time. The AI-powered invoice recognition feature reads invoices by itself and autofills details to reduce your manual work. Odoo Accounting also simplifies the international transactions with the multi-currency support and automatically updates the exchange rates. Odoo Accounting makes financial reporting easy by generating detailed balance sheets, profit and loss statements, and cash flow reports in just a few clicks, giving you a clear view of your business finances. It also makes tax compliance stress-free by supporting regulations in over 70 different countries. And the best part is that your first Odoo application is free for life with unlimited hosting and support. So if you want to simplify your accounting, save time, and stay on top of your finances, click the link in the description and try Odoo today. And now, on with the episode. Now the budget is extremely long and convoluted with a million schemes and data points. But we will try our level best to keep it simple, to the point, and present only those points that are relevant to our community. So please excuse us if we missed out on some super technical details of the budget. If this is clear, let's start with the most heated topic of the budget, which is the income tax.
I am now happy to announce that there will be no income tax payable up to income of 12 lakh rupees.
Economists now believe it is time to bring income tax cuts for the middle class into the mix.
The slab changes that have been done today acknowledge the impact of inflation on the pocket of the middle class, and it's been changed to give some relief.
To be honest, this budget seems like a budget that the government has drafted just to answer all our prayers. And in a breakthrough announcement, Nirmala Maam has said that there will be zero income tax payable for people earning up to 12 lakh rupees per year. Now, in the budget, the tax slabs have been rationalized in such a way that everyone has to pay less. So, let's get started with this exciting breakdown of the tax slabs. People, back then, you didn't have to pay tax until 3 lakh rupees. And then from 3 to 7 lakh rupees, you had to pay 5%. From 7 to 10 lakh rupees, you paid 10%. And from 10 to 12 lakh rupees, you paid 15%. And then from 12 to 15 lakhs, you paid 20%. And above 15, you paid 30% income tax. But this is what the new tax slabs look like. From 0 to 4 lakh rupees, you pay nothing. Then from 4 to 8 lakh rupees, you pay 5%. From 8 to 12 lakh rupees, you pay 10%. From 12 to 16 lakh rupees, you pay 15%. From 16 to 20 lakh rupees, you pay 20%. And from 20 to 24 lakh rupees, you pay 25%. And finally, the last slab of 30% has been hiked to 24 lakh rupees. This has been raised from the previous slab of 15 lakh rupees. So the question is, how much tax do you really end up paying? Well, let's take a simple example to try and understand how much tax do you really have to pay. Let's say Rohan earns 12 lakh rupees per annum. So how much tax will Rohan pay under the new tax regime? Well, from 0 to 4 lakh rupees, he pays 0. From 4 to 8 lakh rupees, he will pay 5% of 4 lakhs, which is 20,000 rupees. And for 8 to 12 lakh rupees, he will pay 10% of 4 lakh rupees, which is equal to 40,000 rupees. So his total tax is 20,000 plus 40,000, which is 60,000 rupees. So Rohan will pay 60,000 rupees of tax. But now the question is, if this calculation says that Rohan has to pay 60,000 rupees in tax, then how can the finance minister say that till 12 lakh rupees there is no income tax at all? Well, that is because, ladies and gentlemen, we have something called tax rebates. So every March when the financial year ends and your CA files your taxes, they also file for ITR or income tax returns. When they do this, the government will give you a refund on tax money. Now previously the maximum rebate you would get was 25,000 rupees. But now the total rebate that Rohan can get is 60,000 rupees. So if you take Rohan's example, at the end of the year he will get back the 60,000 rupees that he paid in taxes. So effectively he pays 0 rupees in tax. But this is not the complete picture. There are some things called cess and deductions. For those who don't know, cess is a tax on tax, and cess is levied by the government generally for promoting health and education. For example, cess on education is used to pay for students' midday meals or to pay the salaries of employees in the government schools and colleges. So it's a percentage of the existing tax that you're paying instead of the tax on the income generated. So this is a tax on tax. For example, if you have an income of 1,000 rupees on which the tax is 300 rupees, the cess would be 4% of 300 rupees or 12 rupees. So it's an added tax. And then we come to deductions. Deductions are nothing but tax cuts that the government gives out if you invest your money into those sectors that are beneficial for the country. This includes investing in healthcare, housing, retirement savings, and many more as mentioned in the screen. So if you spend or invest money in these instruments, the government will not tax you for that amount of money. Now, for the simplicity of this example, let's take the main deduction for all salaried employees, which is standard deduction. This is a flat deduction from the total salary earned by the employee in a particular financial year to reduce their taxable income. This, as of now, is 75,000 rupees. So let's quickly understand this with an example. And if you understand this, please skip to this timestamp. Let's take Disha, who is earning 30 lakh rupees. She will have to pay tax on 30 lakhs minus 75,000, which is equal to 29 lakhs 25,000 rupees. So again, from 0 to 4 lakhs, she pays 0 tax. From 4 to 8 lakhs, she will pay 5% of 4 lakhs, which is 20,000 rupees. From 8 to 12, she will pay 10% of 4 lakhs, which is 40,000 rupees. From 12 to 16, she will pay 15% of 4 lakhs, which is 60,000 rupees. From 16 to 20 lakhs, she will pay 20% of 4 lakhs, which is 80,000 rupees. And from 20 to 24 lakhs, she will pay 25% of 4 lakhs or 1 lakh rupees. And finally, from 24 lakhs to 29.25 lakhs, she pays 30% of 5.25 lakhs, which is equal to 1,57,500 rupees. Now, if you total it up, it comes to 4,57,500 rupees. Now, on this, you add 4% cess on the total tax payable. So, it comes down to 4% of 4,57,500 rupees, which is 18,300 rupees. So, Disha's final tax payable with a 30 lakh salary is 4,57,500 rupees plus 18,300 rupees equal to 4,75,800 rupees. Now, since she earns about 12 lakh rupees, she doesn't get TDS cuts of 60,000 rupees. This is still a marked improvement from the previous tax regime where she was paying 5,90,200 rupees per year in taxes. So that's a 24% decrease in tax paid. Similarly, if you look at this chart, you will find that the total tax benefit from 2024 to 2025 is quite substantial. It starts from 30,000 rupees up to 8 lakh rupees tax slab and then goes up to 1.1 lakh rupees above the 24 lakh tax slab. So overall, the middle class is being kept happy with either zero or substantially lesser taxes. And this brings an end to the first section of our episode, which is income tax. And now we move on to the second section. What are the new investment spaces and business opportunities that are being created by this year's budget? Now, whether you are an investor looking for the next big bet or an entrepreneur looking to start a business, here's where the action is. So listen to this very, very carefully. The first is consumer-driven business ideas. Here's where, with the government raising the tax-free income limit to 12 lakh rupees, millions of middle-class families will now have extra disposable income. And this is expected to drive demand for consumer goods, automobiles and home essentials. For example, a family in Lucknow that previously bought generic cooking oil may now opt for a premium cold-pressed oil brand available online. And this increase in disposable income also creates a perfect environment for young entrepreneurs to boost their D2C brands in food, apparel, home essentials and personal care. And as this happens across India, a new market is expected to grow in affordable yet premium products, especially in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities where consumption is booming. To put that in perspective, if a clothing brand offers cotton shirts at $9.99, they can now add another segment of products at 1,200 rupees because now young professionals in Indore and Jaipur will have more disposable income to buy these products. Similarly, a D2C brand selling natural chemical-free home cleaning products can now target families in cities like Nashik and Bhopal who want better alternatives to traditional detergents. And by the way, this also means that startups in auto accessories and even electric two-wheelers will see a boost in revenue due to more disposable income. If this is very, very clear to you, let's move on to the second sector, which is agriculture and rural commerce. People, India's agricultural sector is the backbone of our economy. It contributes 18% to the GDP and provides a livelihood to 46% of the population. But despite it being so crucial, millions of farmers are still struggling every single day.
For the last over 5 years, farmers of the Bundelkhand region in India have been witnessing droughts.
Farmers are being forced to compete on global markets, with many taking on huge debts they're now unable to meet. And that's being seen as a big factor in an alarmingly high rate of suicides.
Over the past 10 years, the amount of rice I produce has fallen, but my costs have almost doubled or tripled.
In this agricultural country, the conditions of farmers is so bad.
Now, farming in India is tough because of low productivity, small land holdings, unpredictable weather, lack of storage, and unstable prices. So to fix this, in the 2025 budget, agriculture has been one of the primary focus areas for the government. And for this sector, firstly, we have the national mission to provide high-yielding seeds to the farmers. To tell you about it, the farmers need better seeds to grow better crops. So the government is launching a special mission to develop and distribute high-yield seeds that are pest-resistant and can survive extreme weather conditions. This catalog starts from rice, wheat, barley, maize and goes all the way up to sugarcane, cotton, jute and more. This means higher production and fewer crop failures. Secondly, the government will be giving 7.7 crore farmers, fishermen and dairy farmers short-term loans up to 5 lakh rupees at lower interest rates through Kisan Credit Card. This is because the government identifies debt as one of the biggest problems for the farmers. More than 50% of the farmers in India have a debt of more than 75,000 rupees. But with this loan scheme, farmers will be able to buy better seeds, invest in better irrigation, and expand their farms without relying on private money lenders who charge exorbitant interest rates of up to 40%. Thirdly, under the Prime Minister Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana, the government has identified 100 districts across India that have the potential to become leading agricultural hubs. Under this scheme, 1.7 crore farmers will get direct support to increase productivity and boost their income by improving their farming techniques. So 1.7 crore farmers in these districts will be provided with modern farming equipment, high quality seeds, and they will also be provided better storage and transport infrastructure. In simple words, the goal is to transform these 100 districts into modern agricultural regions where farmers can earn more, produce more, and compete in national and global markets. And here's where there is a big opportunity for agri-tech startups who can make better high-tech equipments for these farmers. In fact, startups and investors can also tap into cold storage facilities, food processing plants, and agri-supply chain solutions. Fourthly, the government will be focusing on the production of cotton in the country. You see, cotton is a lifeline for the Indian economy. We are the largest cotton producer in the world, and we alone make 23% of global cotton production. On top of that, the cotton industry also provides livelihood to 60 million people. But you know what? Even then, cotton farmers are struggling, and India's cotton productivity is lower than global standards. In fact, you would be shocked to know that India's average cotton yield is approximately 436 kgs per hectare. But if you look at China, China stands at 2171 kgs per hectare, and Brazil stands at 1911 kgs per hectare. So on the same piece of land, they produce 4 to 5 times more yield than us. So obviously, our farmers are poor. This is the reason why, to solve this problem, the government has launched a 5-year mission. This mission aims to modernize cotton farming, introduce better seed varieties, improve pest management, and promote sustainable practices to ensure that these farmers and the textile industry business owners, they generate higher income. And lastly, the government is focusing on one superfood, and that is Makhana.
Makhana board in Bihar. For this, there is a special opportunity for the people of Bihar. A Makhana board will be established in the state to improve production, processing, value addition, and marketing of Makhana.
People, Bihar produces 90%, I repeat, 90% of the world's foxnuts or Makhana. Bihar's Makhana farmers have been growing the superfood for generations, and for years, they struggled with unstable prices and poor market access. But fortunately, things have started to change after 2017. If you see, Makhana prices have skyrocketed by 3 to 4 times to a historic high of 22,000 rupees per quintal. And as the prices increased, many paddy farmers stopped growing paddy and started Makhana cultivation. But then in 2022, Makhana prices fell to just 3,500 rupees per quintal due to weak demand. And because of this, 25% of farmers stopped Makhana farming. And to make matters worse, the extreme heat conditions also dried up artificial ponds to then further decrease the production by 50%. So now the government is stepping in with a Makhana board in Bihar. This board will help farmers process, market, and add value to their produce. This will ensure stable prices, better profits, and long-term sustainability for the farmers who rely on Makhana. And this is a huge opportunity for Makhana-based FMCG brands. If this is very clear to you, let's move on to the next focus area for the government, which is MSMEs and startups. People, MSMEs make up 29% of our GDP and 50% of India's total exports. So this year, in order to help these small businesses grow while reducing India's dependence on Chinese products, the government has released a few policies to make it easier for them to get loans, expand their footprint, and even compete globally. So let's have a look at them. The first thing is creating easier access to loans for MSMEs and startups. MSMEs can now get loan guarantees up to 10 crore rupees from the previous limit of 5 crore rupees. And startups can now get up to 20 crore rupees from the previous limit of 10 crore rupees. What this means is that the loans that these small businesses take are backed by the government itself. So if a small business takes a loan and can't pay it back, the government steps in and covers the part of the loss for the bank. And because of this guarantee, banks are more willing to lend money to small businesses. And this is a very, very big deal because there are 4.5 crore MSMEs in the country. And this scheme unlocks an additional 1.5 trillion rupees in credit in the next 5 years. Yes, 1.5 trillion rupees in credit guaranteed by the government. So if you're a small business owner, please figure out a way to use this capital because it is very, very valuable. The second big announcement for MSMEs is that the government has just changed the definition of micro, small and medium enterprises, and it's a game changer for business owners. So if you're a business owner, listen to this very, very carefully. You see, small businesses are classified as micro, small and medium enterprises based on their investment and annual turnover. So earlier, if your investment was 1 crore and turnover was 5 crore rupees, you were a micro business. If your investment was up to 10 crore rupees and turnover was up to 50 crore rupees, then you were a small enterprise. And if your investment was up to 50 crore rupees with a turnover of up to 250 crore rupees, then you were a medium enterprise. But now the definitions have changed. Now if the investment is 2.5 crores and turnover is up to 10 crore rupees, you will still be considered as a micro business. For small enterprises, the investment limit has been increased to 25 crore rupees and the turnover limit has been raised to 100 crore rupees. Similarly, for medium enterprises, the investment cap is now 125 crores and they can now have a turnover of up to 500 crore rupees while still enjoying MSME benefits. So now the question over here is, how does this change of definition help these businesses? Well, as it turns out, this is a massive boost for small and growing businesses. Earlier, businesses had to stay small just to retain the MSME benefits that the government was providing them. And if they grew beyond a certain limit, they would lose access to subsidies, tax perks and low interest loans. But now, with these relaxed tax limits, businesses can expand without fear and still enjoy all the perks of being an MSME. So in simple words, the government is saying, don't hold back, grow as much as you want and we would still have your back. So this, again, is a big step towards making small businesses bigger, stronger and more profitable. And here's where we move from MSME to another important engine of India, which is the startup ecosystem. You see, the government earlier had a fund for startups with 91,000 crores. But now, the government is adding another 10,000 crores to the same. But instead of directly funding individual companies, they're using something called fund of funds. So the money is invested in big funds like private equity funds, venture capital funds and hedge funds. These funds manage startup investments. It's like a mutual fund but for startups. So instead of betting on one company, investors bet on an entire portfolio to ensure that even if a few fail, the rest of the companies balance out the risk. This means more capital for Indian founders, more jobs and lesser risk for investors. And this is a model that has apparently worked in the global markets like US and China. And now India is stepping up its game. And this brings us to the last sector that the government is deeply interested in, which is manufacturing. And because this entire segment was deeply technical, I'll attach a doc to help you understand this segment better. So all in all, this sounds incredible, right? Lots of tax changes, lots of industries benefiting, and a lot of benefits for the business community. It's a full platter, isn't it? But you know what, guys? As always, even this budget has some criticism.
You have a job and you have a salary and you're earning 12 lakhs or less, you have every reason to be happy. But if you don't have a job, it's not particularly clear from this budget where that job is going to come from.
In this budget, Bihar has received some massive allocations. A Makhana board to boost production, huge investments in infrastructure with 4 new airports, more funding for IIT Patna, along with a big push for agriculture. And by the way, Bihar getting these concessions is not the problem. The problem is that no other state has been even mentioned in this budget speech. And from West Bengal, MP Abhishek Banerjee said that the budget had nothing for common people and that the budget was presented with the upcoming Bihar elections in mind. He added, as far as West Bengal is concerned, it has not got anything in the last 10 years, nor was there anything today. So the opposition is calling this a political bribe, saying that the government is pouring in money into Bihar not for development but to actually win votes. Now, whether this makes sense or not, you let me know in the comments. Similarly, P. Chidambaram is saying that while the government is celebrating a reduction in the fiscal deficit from 4.9% to 4.8%, it has come at a huge cost to the economy. Why? Let's break it down simply. Firstly, government's income is lower than expected. So he says that the money that the government collected in taxes and other sources was 41,240 crores lower than expected. Out of this, net tax receipts alone were 26,439 crores lower. This means that the government didn't earn as much money as it had initially planned for. And secondly, to make up for the shortfall, government has cut its spending. So instead of finding other ways to increase revenue, the government cut 1,04,025 crores from its planned spending. This means important projects, schemes and services of the nation got less funding than promised. So what does Mr. Chidambaram mean? He means that the government is showing a lower fiscal deficit, which sounds good, but it achieved this by reducing spending in crucial areas. So he says that instead of boosting growth, cutting investments in agriculture and rural development could hurt India's long-term progress. And Chidambaram sir says that this is not a real achievement. It just means that the government spent less, which is not always a good thing for the economy. And lastly, as per the opposition, many flagship schemes are losing steam. So they say that programs like Jal Jeevan Mission, Poshan Abhiyan and PM Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana, they were all announced with a huge fanfare, but their funding is being slashed. So they say that either the government no longer believes in these programs or they simply don't have the capacity to execute them. Now, we couldn't find stats to prove these statements as of now, but if we find something, we will definitely let you know. But regardless of that, guys, you tell me in the comments what you think about this year's budget. And this is how we complete our entire reporting of the budget of 2025. And I just hope you learned something valuable from this case study. That's all from my side for today, guys. If you learned something valuable, please hit the like button in order to make YouTube Baba happy. And for more such insightful business and political case studies, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.